Tzu Chi disaster relief team continue to distribute the much-needed tools to affected residents in Mozambique. Thanks to a UDN survey, it has shined a light on the lack of book reading among the Taiwanese population. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Lori Chen. Thank you for joining us. Recently, Tzu Chi disaster relief team conducted their 4th construction materials distribution in Mozambique. Everything went smoothly, all thanks to the caring local volunteers and a group of one-day volunteers from a Chinese enterprise in Beira. All the recipients were happily singing and dancing while they waited for their turn to get the much-needed construction materials. Let's check out the current status. If it wasn't for the detailed coordination of purchasing relief goods, the distributions would not run so smoothly. When the Tzu Chi disaster relief team members' faces aren't looking quite right, you can bet that there's a problem with the purchasing orders. In Mozambique, when the manufacturer nods his head in ingredients, doesn't always mean it's good to go. The supplies must be transferred onto the truck beds before the purchase is considered finalized. That's the only time the volunteers are able to take a breather. At the Tzu Chi distribution site, the singing was led by the church choir. This is a song about the ultimate love. The lyrics translate to, if you don't practice what you learn in church, then you will not be able to go to heaven. The local volunteers are all so caring in nature. They were afraid that the affected residents were going to get heat strokes due to sitting under the sun for too long. Therefore, they started to tear off big pieces of cardboard from the cardboard boxes, making them into makeshift sun hats for the people. The mother-daughter duo, 90-year-old Esther and 70-year-old Aisa, held onto each other for support while making their way to collect the supplies. The local volunteers quickly came over to carry the materials for them. We have absolutely nothing left. Everything is gone. Even our home is gone.
The whole house collapsed in an instant. Plus, my leg was badly injured.
The elderly mother simply sat down and revealed her unhealed wounds. The cyclone really took a toll on her body. The daughter helped her elderly mother get back on her feet. She held her hand and started to walk at a slow pace. Taking care of her mother is her responsibility. The local volunteers are concerned about the elderly recipients, so they are running about helping them carry the aid supplies. The sweat's literally spraying off of their faces. Among them is 27-year-old Antonio, who has been volunteering for 2 weeks now.
Estou bem, mas graças a Deus que ainda está me permanecer vivo.
I want to thank God that I'm still alive and well today. I don't feel tired at all because I'm a volunteer. I'm full of confidence. I do believe that this world will get better and better. I feel very joyful inside.
There's also another group of volunteers that are quite special. A group of 8 individuals from a Chinese enterprise in Beira took the initiative to sign up to serve as one-day volunteers.
I feel very happy volunteering. Yeah, it's a really good thing to do.
I have the abilities to help others in need, which makes me feel quite useful in a sense. Even though I am sweating like crazy, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day because I'm helping people, and it makes me feel very happy inside.
Coming over to Mozambique for work opened up another opportunity to get to know the people of this land better. Tzu Chi's aid distribution is indeed a platform of great love. The team of volunteers from the Tzu Chi Jordan Chapter continues to head southbound to conduct more distributions for the Bedouin communities. For the 3rd stop on this distribution journey, they arrived at Wadi Feynan. The villagers here rely greatly on herding animals for a living. Therefore, many children ended up coming to receive the aid supplies for their families. Some even took on the roles of young volunteers. Let's join them at the scene. A group of Tzu Chi volunteers continued their journey southward from the north of Jordan to their next distribution destination, traveling from Aqaba all the way to the tail end of the Dead Sea. The distance is around 300 kilometers long, of which has deep historical ties with Taiwan. Bordering Israel, this desert road has deep historical ties with Taiwan, because back in 1977, the RSEA Engineering Corporation came here to help the Jordanian government build this very exact road. Now directly behind me, we can still see an Oriental-style pavilion. This pavilion was built at the end of the project to commemorate the friendship between the Taiwanese and Jordanian governments. The 3rd stop on the distribution journey is another Bedouin community, Wadi Feynan. Once you enter into the community, the scenery is vastly different than other areas. The villagers had used a giant plastic sheet to make a small reservoir. It's a simple way for agricultural development. In fact, the water pipes along the dirt road were partially set up by Tzu Chi, around 2 kilometers of it, in order to help solve the villagers' water usage issues. Today, at the Wadi Feynan distribution site, we can see many children present. They're all here not just to get some lollipops, but actually to pick up the supplies for their families. This is because most of their parents are likely in faraway places herding animals.
When he came walking 20 kilometers, for that his mother and father, they cannot walk. For that they send the children to come to take.
Afraid of the relief goods being too heavy to carry for the children, Tzu Chi volunteers helped them put the supplies in the back of the trucks. This way the villagers can take it all in one go. There were also some children who spontaneously took on the role of young volunteers. Among the local volunteers, there was also a former Tzu Chi scholarship recipient, Mohammed. From age 13, Tzu Chi had provided him with financial assistance in order for him to get an education. After graduating from university, he ended up coming back to Wadi Feynan to teach.
He says, where I stand now in my life is because of Tzu Chi. Without the help and the support of Tzu Chi, he wouldn't change his life the way it is now.
Yosef, who's currently a university student, came with his father. The father stated that there are a total of 6 children in the family. He wanted to emphasize the fact that if it wasn't for Tzu Chi's assistance, there would be no way Yosef could attend college.
I'm very grateful for your help. Very, very grateful.
The many exchanges and feedbacks made this distribution no longer just a simple process of giving and receiving. A total of 155 households carried the love from Tzu Chi home in full preparation for the upcoming month of Ramadan. Speaking of the Bedouin population, Jordan City volunteers have long been caring for them. Recently, volunteers from Taiwan and also a group of Syrian refugee single mothers went and visited these desert dwellers.
When Tzu Chi volunteers arrive from Taiwan, they go immediately to this Bedouin camp. The visit also includes single mothers from a refugee camp in Australia.
In this time, she thanked God and Tzu Chi because she has the ability to help other people.
The Australian refugee camp accepts single-parent families from Syria. This time, they brought hot meals they cooked to the Bedouins. Their children also came to help.
They understood they aren't the most pitiful group of kids. They may have lost their fathers, but they still have Tzu Chi volunteers accompanying them and caring for them, and their mothers also take good care of them.
Volunteers visit friends in the camp and are especially concerned about Etibet.
I've seen her at last because you've been documenting her condition.
She received Tzu Chi's medical treatment before, but she has been abandoned by her husband. They seem to be repeating the same fate. The volunteers are very worried about them and hope that education can change their plight.
They don't have any bus, so the volunteers are finding a way to help them. If the volunteers can raise $21 a month, the children here will be able to go to school and have a future.
Before Ramadan, Tzu Chi volunteers sent over food to keep them fed. Volunteers also believe good news will arrive soon, and what follows is a very bright future.
Recently, a UDN survey found that some 40% of Taiwanese citizens did not even read a single book in all of 2018. According to international researchers, reading not only can stimulate the brain, but it can also slow down the aging process. Let's check out an in-depth report.
I think the teachers should inspire children's interest in books.
哇，要不要看第3页？想看吗？哇！哦，好，看谁有坐下来，我就跟他们说，我好喜欢这本书。
I tell them that I like this book a lot. I'm very interested in it. I haven't read it yet, but we are looking at it now.
Children in the squirrel class have a deep interest in reading and get quite excited about it because of this teacher.
注意看哦，注意看。哇！
children in these preschool classes are as young as 2 years old and as old as 5. Although they still don't recognize words, they still enjoy books.
The books that the 2-year-old children read are actually similar to toys. We hope that by playing with the children, they will become acquainted with books.
Usually, they borrow a book every week to take it home. It's for parents and children to read together because the child will have read the book. They will want to come back and talk about it with others.
This 4-year-old has some basic language skills. He sometimes leads the other children to read a book.
I used to have a book that I used to sing along with and read to them. I would say, nose man, I'm the nose man. Because of this, I fell in love with the book.
When the child sees these illustrations, they begin to calm down and look more closely at a book, which develops their focus and observation skills. This is important as teachers find this is the key to developing true reading ability.
Promoting reading requires parents and family to lead by example. The Reading Promotion Association recommends that parents build more self-discipline and spend less time on their mobile phones.
One should find a book that you can read and discuss with your child. It is the same in school. The teacher also wants to discuss books with children.
联合报前阵子做了一项调查，发现去年2018年有
A survey conducted by the United Daily News found that 40% of the people in the country did not read a book in 2018. Modern people like to browse Facebook rather than reading books, but experts tell us that reading can effectively activate our brains and help us with our memory.
储存脑本。
The brain works this way, and there's no special medicine that can be used. It's simply best to keep accumulating knowledge from a very young age.
Modern people may overuse their brains, which can lead to early degeneration of the brain. Doctors say that the first principle of protecting the brain is very simple. First of all, watching TV, looking at mobile phones, and playing video games only utilizes passive thinking ability. Secondly, from a young age, it is necessary to develop the habit of reading a book. Third, reading paper books can actively stimulate the brain and are better than e-books. Fourth, the brain must have a quota of information and cannot retain too much information. Finally, listening, speaking, and reading can stimulate multiple blocks of the brain at the same time. Reading is the best way to accomplish this.
We rely on the temporal lobe for the auditory part. Here's the part that is stimulated. Here's the speech. Talking and reading are in the middle of the block. This is when one is experiencing the early onset of dementia, and you will see that this lobe near the hippocampus slowly begins to change and spread. The blue part that goes out is degradation. When it's severe, it affects the whole brain area.
Foreign scholars have done a lifelong study of 294 people in 2013. They found that if more people spend time reading, they can prevent or slow brain degradation.
Although the hardware of your brain may be degraded and shrink, promoting reading and constant cognition can still help you retain certain functions.
The benefits of reading are so many and vast. From today onwards, you may wish to put down your mobile phone and return to the world of books.
Not only is this year the 53rd anniversary of Tzu Chi, but it's also the same occasion for the Kaohsiung Jinsi Hall. To celebrate, the volunteers decided to hold an exhibition with the theme of remembering those years. Let's take a look at the many events that has took place over all these years.
我们一起接牌。
The theme of the Kaohsiung Jinsi Hall exhibition is remembering those years.
只要让他安心下来，让他有一个安住的地方。
It included the 9/21 earthquake that happened 20 years ago, and also Typhoon Morakot from 10 years ago.
在88风灾之后，我们看到的是有很多的漂流木。
The volunteers also used models to allow the visitor to experience what it felt like back in those years.
这样的一个
This is a warning that we must protect the earth and love our Mother Earth.
这个地球这样子。
Survivors of the disaster stepped out from the photos to tell their own experience to the visitors.
我们是身为一个灾民，那
We are survivors, so we must tell everyone about our stories and how we form good affinities with Tzu Chi.
所以把这样的故事一个能量跟大家分享。
The Kaohsiung Jinsi Drum Team was also there to inspire more youth members.
粽叶就像慈济的志工，然后我们去接引，里面的小米粒就像种子一样。
会需要就是安排。
We drum team members take turns to introduce what we do to the public. We hope to inspire more people from the younger generation to join us.
更多年轻人。
It's very delightful to know young people are willing to walk on the Bodhisattva path as well.
Through these vivid exhibitions, visitors are reminded of the lessons taught by these past disasters. At the same time, the public is actively learning the teachings of Dharma Master Zheng Yan.
Tzu Chi volunteers at Tainan's Zhenhe Environmental Education Center held a charity bazaar to support the Send Love to Africa initiative. The event included handmade snacks and desserts. There were also various artists and floral arrangement experts that came to help out. It was a fun and festive event, which helped raise much compassionate givings for those in need.
These stall operators are encouraging everyone to express their compassion in helping international disaster-affected residents. It's a charity bazaar hosted at Tainan's Zhenhe Environmental Education Center, with many volunteers displaying snacks that they made themselves. The event is also done with the spirit of environmental protection in mind.
回去呢，我们用环保杯让大家带回去，就可以用这个来泡，重复使用。
This cup is good for either hot or cold liquids. It is very convenient, and we let them take it home as it is better for the earth.
比较环保。那我现在帮你马上弄，好不好？哈。
A special floral arrangement expert helps select flowers, and an art instructor is also on hand. Everyone is contributing their respective talents at the event, all with the same goal to help the affected residents in any way they can.
I support all of these Tzu Chi events. I have gone to Kaohsiung, Tainan, Shanhua, and Dalian. If there is an event, I will support it.
I'm a flower arrangement instructor. If there is an event, either in my community or elsewhere, as long as they need me, I will be there.
A number of games and toys were made from recycled materials, allowing kids to have fun while being environmentally aware. This charity bazaar has inspired many to care for those in need all around the world.
Also taking part in the Send Love to Africa initiative is the Jingsi Bo's pottery team. They have been collaborating with a U.S. pottery teacher, Terry Rothrock, for the past 9 months in coming up with various pottery pieces. It was due to a promise to Dharma Master Zheng Yan back in 2017 that he came back after retirement to dedicate his time fully for charity purposes. He feels a sense of responsibility to pass down this art form to the next generation. Today we will get to know him in a more in-depth way.
Most important thing in throwing pots on the wheel is to know where the center is. When I make a pot, I'm always relating to this. So after a few 100,000 times, my body automatically relates to this. Is how do I improve my skills? Repetition. It's like any other skill that people learn. You have to do it over and over and over again. So that you want to drink out, okay? Say about teaching is, in my old age, I am feeling an obligation to pass on what I know to the next generation. Okay. I think that's very important. This is not something you can just learn by looking at a computer program like YouTube. You have to do it. I love this country. This is a wonderful country. It's very impressive. You have adopted democracy in a very short period of time. It's safe here. You don't have guns everywhere. You have a great medical care system, like at Tzu Chi Hospital. You have the best fruit and vegetables I've ever seen. So you have a lot of great things happening here in Taiwan. Pots that I made that the volunteers and workers would finish with their carving and with their glazing. And so that was most impressive to me, to work together with other people. The spirit of volunteering, doing things for free, has really impressed me. When I go home, I want to volunteer in my community. It's just a little town of 2,000, but they have an elementary school, and I want to do that. The other thing is I want to give away ceramics, just so that people have them in their life on an everyday basis. They can drink tea from that, and they know that a human being made this piece of ceramic.
Staying at the Jingsi abode, a total of 38 students from the Tzu Chi University School of Post-Bac Chinese Medicine were recognized at the annual medical robe ceremony. They all vowed to be holistic doctors.
Reading out the Chinese medicine doctor's oath, 38 Tzu Chi University School of Postbaccalaureate Chinese medicine students are ready to start their medical practices.
After the medical school robe ceremony, we vow that after we go to the hospitals, we will face our medical practices, our patients, and their families.
After 3 years of learning, the students are becoming Chinese medicine doctors. The students hope they'll be able to apply what they've learned in school.
I hope I can move forward based on the spirit of great healer. I will follow the doctor's oath.
The students received the acupuncture sets and stethoscopes from the Dharma master of the Jingsi abode. It is a reminder for the students to always remember their initial aspiration to serve the patients.
Recently, the Luzhou Jingsi Hall in New Taipei City conducted their community Buddha Day ceremony. Many individuals, along with their families, participated in the dignified event. Thank you for watching. See you next time.